if killing Sukuna by any means necessary was a situation. Bro really went from being the next Gojo to becoming Gojo himself. Now, here's the most interesting part. At the end of the chapter, it says revenge match. Yeah, Okkotsu's dying. I saw the spoilers for this chapter, and while the JJK fan in me was out here celebrating that the Riz God has been resurrected from the dead, am I the only one who's low-key happy at the fact that it's not actually Kenjaku? I wouldn't put it out of Kenjaku's character to pull that whole "you triggered my trap card." Yo, so whenever I look at my YouTube analytics, a lot of people who actually watch my channel are actually from my YouTube recommendations. Y'all not even subscribed. So, if you're new to the channel and you like this kind of content, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button too. Thanks. Hear he. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else in between. From dishwashers, typewriters, trash compactors, tumble dryers, oven burners, air fryers to deep fryers. I'm officially happy to announce the return and the resurrection of the Riz God himself. Treat me like white teeth. Yeah. Okkotsu's dying. Gege really pulled the laziest fusion dance I've seen in this lifetime. Dude said, fusion dance, I'm just gonna put him in him.
What do you mean by that?
It turns out Rika actually ate Kenjaku's body, ergo taking his ability, which confirms one, Rika has to actually eat you in order to take your ability. Although in the chapter it actually said that there were two outcomes that could lead to Okkotsu's death, I think the third one will technically also lead to his death, chronologically speaking. Alright, hear me out, let me land. One being Kenjaku's ability having to constantly be activated, leading to Okkotsu's death. Number two, Kenjaku's ability being intermittently activated, eventually leading to Okkotsu's death. Now the third, Okkotsu's body and mind may be interlinked, and after 5 minutes he'd be able to use Limitless, but then he'd be stuck in Gojo's body forever. But narratively, Sukuna will probably kill this dude, leading to Okkotsu's death. And the thing is, I wasn't really sure about how much damage Okkotsu took when he fought with Sukuna. I mean, Sukuna hit him with that Itori, but I didn't think it was to the point where his body was so banged up, there was no going back. Gojo fought Sukuna in Gojo's body, and Gojo still lost. The chance this guy got. Yuji narratively has to be the one to take down Sukuna, because that would then regress the entire point of the actual awakening. Let's just say, okay, Okkotsu's back in Gojo's body, and he finally gets his revenge, and everything is nice. But then what was the point in Yuji actually awakening and all of a sudden unlocking like the whole Black Flash ability? Yes, I know it's not a Black Flash ability, but work with me. Also, this move is a last resort in the event that everybody gets taken out. So at this point, I'm very much under the impression, even though I've been under this impression chapters ago, that after this attempt is done, Yuji, Todo, and Sukuna going at it. I mean, I don't know about Todo, but Todo gonna do something. But it's gonna be Yuji and Sukuna on that 1v1. Now, in the event that Okkotsu in Gojo's body doesn't die, I would have to sit there and really question how Gege is actually gonna write this situation out, because now let's keep it a buck here. Sukuna not about to let that man walk out with his body still intact. But then at the same time, Gojo getting killed off again would genuinely just feel stale at this point, because you're just doing the same thing again. Yuji fights, nearly dies, new character, Sukuna dominates, Yuji returns, wash, rinse, and repeat. Again! During the 1 month time skip, turns out that the entire squad did a whole lot of scheming and planning. Okkotsu runs a plan to hijack Gojo's body, assuming said person actually loses. And the response is actually pretty entertaining because he sits there and he's like, I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, it's a dead corpse. But at the same time, I don't plan on losing. But then again, at the same time, Gojo, the same person who sat there and said he wasn't sure if he could actually beat Sukuna, even if he wasn't actually using the 10 shadows. So at this point in time, it kind of just seems like, yeah, I don't really know where you actually stand at this point. Because those are two opposing narratives. Gojo and Okkotsu are distant relatives, but then at the same time, Gojo goes as far to actually tell Okkotsu that, you know what, you may have been even blessed more than me. If you know what I'm saying. So I mean, use it while you got it, player. Use it while you got it. And I guess the thought of Okkotsu just copying Gojo's ability by having Rika actually eat Gojo would make sense. But at the same time, you actually need the 6 eyes to use Limitless, and the 6 eyes is an actual body part. It's not an ability. So hence why Okkotsu basically decided to hijack his body. But I mean, it's a last resort, so I can understand where he coming from. Yuta taking over Gojo's body, I would say, is symbolic of Yuta actually taking responsibility and taking up the mantle. Not gonna say the mantle of the strongest, but the burden of constantly having to do the dirtiest deeds. Now for context, Hikari, Maki, and Okkotsu are with Gojo as he's walking to eliminate the higher-ups. So at this point, it's always placed on his shoulders to end up doing what has to actually be done. Now, in theory, this is definitely noble, but I feel like it's only effective on the assumption you actually come out alive. I'm very much under the impression that Okkotsu's definitely dying. Like, I mean, I could be wrong, but you never know.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Sukuna gave Yuji this whole scrambler treatment the moment he saw Gojo. Okkotsu, I get it. And let me just add, bro, how many bars of life does this man actually have at this point? Dude, like a whole Final Fantasy final villain. Yuji is literally in the process of trying to crush this man's heart. And Sukuna just out here just averting his attention to the sauce god. Bro been fighting non-stop for like 40 chapters at this point. No breaks. We can quantify that to about an entire year. And to be honest, it just seems like his curse output is just dropping. It's up there. It's just constantly fluctuating at this point. We don't even really know how much life this man got. But in all honesty, the moment he saw Gojo, this man ready to go. He has ran the pockets of multiple sorcerers, been stabbed in the heart, brain damage, has taken almost 10 black flashes from Yuji, and is still going. Bro, plot armor is thick. Gege, the Sukuna glazing has to stop. Bro has rinsed out the entire cast, and he don't even look like he's slowing down anytime soon. Sukuna and Yuta are about to have a domain clash. And at this point with Gojo's return, we just don't know where Sukuna actually stands, curse energy wise. I still don't really know how I feel about Gojo even coming back. I think it's good because they're doing anything by any means necessary, but I'm glad it's not actually Gojo himself. But personally, I doubt this fight gonna last that long. I'm not really sure how I feel about Gojo's return. I know the context is definitely different, and this is definitely a hell of a plot twist that no one really even anticipated, as far as I know. I can understand why Okkotsu changed bodies, because I didn't think he had taken that much damage at the time when he fought Sukuna with Rika and Yuji. Physically, this man was finished. Reverse curse technique weren't gonna do nothing. My final question is, now that Yuta is in Gojo's body, can he still use Rika, and does he still have access to his other abilities? Defeating Sukuna is the name, and by any means necessary is the game. Let me know your thoughts below. What did you think of Gojo Okkotsu's return? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Unfortunately, we are on break next week. Where do you think the story is going next? Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll holler at y'all later, man. Peace!